UConn gets an ugly, ugly win, 71-63 over Kansas. Now, what did we learn over this Thanksgiving weekend in regards to UConn? And what have we learned so far this season? We are going to go through it and sort of break down the game a little bit, but more look at where UConn sits. If you like the content, then please consider subscribing to my channel and give the video a like. All right, here we go. Let's get into this. So first, like I said, it was an ugly win. Beckers got in early foul trouble, and it was actually a nice thing because it sort of made UConn rely on other players, and it did not look pretty. They struggled to score on offense, and it just overall was not a beautiful machine out there, but a win is a win is a win. Gino tried another starting lineup, so he moved KK to the bench and Ashlyn Shade into the starter role. I think this is his attempt to find more three-point shooting. He wants three shooters he can depend on out there, as he sees that's the way his offense is going to run with this small crew, as he needs to stretch teams out to give space. As well, I don't know if he wanted KK on the bench to sort of give – the bench was so pathetic against UCLA. If he thought, okay, maybe a burst of energy with her going on would give increased, I guess, a better way to attack things. And ultimately, I mean, KK got 33 minutes. So even though she didn't start, she got more minutes than Shade, as she got 31 minutes, and she was there for the closing of the game. Ashlyn Shade did not have a particularly good game. She missed a few open looks. She had a few bad turnovers, and just overall, she struggled. I think he made a point of taking her out at the very end of the second quarter when she didn't get the shot off before the shot clock went down. So he subbed her at 1.6. It was like, really? But overall, I am curious to see if he comes out with that same starting lineup with Texas and says, yep, I'm going to let Shade take a few bumps and bruises along the way and develop her and keep it with that. And I want Arnold coming off the bench. Or if this, I guess, weekend and first few games has sort of proven in his mind that KK is his best player, and hey, I want to start with my best five and go out there. So that'll be an interesting thing to see in the next game against Texas and what he has to say sort of in the press conferences this week. Edwards bounced back nicely in this game. She went 4 for 7 with 9 points. She was tough inside, but she took a little elbow to the back of the head into the ear. I don't think it was anything serious, but, it's UConn, so you never know. So hopefully she is fine. DeBerry inside. So Ice Brady couldn't hit anything. First, we'll go to Ice Brady before DeBerry. Ice Brady couldn't hit anything, but I thought she was physical on the inside, and they just have to keep on playing her and let her develop. As she gets more comfortable, the theory would be that her shot will start to fall. That would be the hope. DeBerry, yes, I know. I'm the one that said in my last video, you got to give DeBerry time. I totally understand why Gino struggles with her. She is just so soft inside. She loses the battle. She loses the war before it even starts because she just does not hold her position. Like, they just all post her right under the basket and then do it. And you can see Gino just on the sidelines just losing his mind, just going, oh my God, this is the biggest big I have. It looks like she should muscle people out of the paint, and she just doesn't do it. She doesn't have the leverage. She's just stiff. And, if she can't do that, if she can't be strong inside, then what is she giving you? So I have a bit more empathy for Gino in that light. I think I probably went too harsh in saying how he hadn't played her all and then put her in. I still think you got to keep on rolling her out to see if she can develop. I doubt it because she's been here so long. And ultimately, is that something you could teach? I mean, either you want to hold your position in the paint or you don't. Everybody's, Gino doesn't coach bigs well, or, or Chris Daly needs to do a better job. No, I think at some point, you either can hold your position inside or you can't. You can have all the coaching and stuff like that, but a little bit of rebounding is want. I am more analytical and X's and O's guy, but rebounding is not. Sometimes you just have to want it and want that position and muscle up inside, and she just doesn't have it. You see her, like, the two games where they got such position so low and so close to the basket that is just alarm bells go off when that happens. So overall, the narrative coming out of this weekend for most is, you've got Paige Becker. She's a star, and when she turned it on in the second half, she saved UConn's bacon, and that's all they have, and they don't have enough around her to make a serious run in the tournament or win the championship. My take is a little bit different. I think UConn has now found out what they potentially have and what they don't have, which is good. So I think last year they sort of screwed around with FUD to see will she, won't she, and now this season they don't have to do that, and they've got 4 rookies that will try to develop and see who can develop and who can't, and try to piece the puzzles together. And I continue to say I think it's like a lump of clay, and I'm curious to see how he shapes things around Paige Becker's to see where this team can get. As part of what you can or can't count on, I mean, Deschamps, it's unfortunate, but I just think they need to redshirt her. I don't think they should play the whole Deschamps game. Carolyn's going to come back in 2 games, and boy, this is really going to make the difference. Her shot from outside is really going to make, it would be wonderful it happened, but she's not right. It's clear she's not right, and I just think they're dreaming if they think, oh my goodness, these issues she had are going to go away, because it's clearly has affected her so far, and they need to move on and figure out, can we develop Samuels? Can we get her defense going? Is that the shot we need? And is that the player, or will Ashlyn Shade get her minutes and will bring KK off the bench? But I think they really need to sort of put Deschamps on the shelf and say, you need to take the year off, get yourself as physically fit as possible, and then have a restart next year, and we'll see what happens, because what they're trying to do right now is obviously not working. The next thing I hope that we get this week is more of a timeline on when Ananya Patterson is going to be back in the lineup. Like, when is she going to start practicing with the team? In team practice, not just individuals, because that's important. It's unbelievable, but their hopes are in large part on her, because they need one more physical body, and that will give this team a chance. And do you really want it on Patterson? But I really think they really need her to produce, which is, I did a video of, is it gold or fool's gold? And a lot of people said fool's gold, which I understand, because she hasn't done anything so far in her career. They need somebody physical in there that can hold their ground, and she might just be that player. The last thing I'll finish up this video with is, I think the interesting thing about this season is it's so dependent on the development of the freshmen, and I am just curious to see if Gino is going to be able to instill confidence in them to make mistakes and not be looking over their shoulders. It feels to me, it's just a sense I have, is that whenever they're taking a shot, they're gripping tight, looking over to the sidelines. I know Samuels took a shot and she looked over at Gino straight away. It wasn't a good shot to take, but is he going to sort of empower them to make mistakes, learn from them, and keep on playing through it? Because that's really the only hope this team has, is the development of the 4 freshmen needs to happen in a large part for UConn to be able to go somewhere come March. Love to get your comments and poison. Thanks a lot for watching. Good night.